Happening now, charges are likely for the man who police say hit a toddler last night in Jamestown. Plus, why Cattaraugus County's health director is concerned with an uptick in COVID-19 related deaths there.
And the sun is smiling down on you today. It is going to be a fantastic day, but the cooler air and rain is on the way. I'll talk about it next. The news at noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. On this Friday, I'm Justin Gould. A 2-year-old was injured after being hit by a vehicle while walking with their family last night on East 5th Street. Jamestown police tell us the driver of the vehicle initially failed to stop, but the driver pulled into a 4th Street parking lot nearby where bystanders smashed the vehicle's window with a rock. The driver then drove to Franklin Street, where police say they later caught up with him. Officers impounded the vehicle and say charges are pending against the driver and their identity will be released later on. The youngster was transported to UPMC Chautauqua Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And police say that their investigation is continuing and they'll be releasing specific charges against the driver. Of course, when we learn that information, we'll keep you updated at WNYNewsNow.com and on our mobile app. Cattaraugus County is seeing an increase in COVID-19 related deaths, which the county's health director says could be a snowballing problem. Dr. Kevin Watkins says compared to New York State's death rate, the county's 4% rate is a startling uptick. He says on average there has been a death every week for the past month. All of the 10 people who passed away in the last month were hospitalized, which Watkins explains is because they had severe cases of the virus.
They have had underlying illnesses prior to them contracting the virus, and oftentimes the virus will exacerbate those conditions. They have diabetes. Oftentimes, once they are admitted to the hospital, the diabetes sometimes can be uncontrolled. The inflammatory process that occurs when the virus is contracted is so overwhelming for the body that it can really start to shut down the functions of those vital organs of the body.
Now, currently, Watkins says 8 people are hospitalized because of the virus. He says even though the FDA recently approved remdesivir to treat COVID-19, the drug and similar steroids that have been used doesn't specifically mean success with underlying conditions like diabetes. He's urging people to take precaution by wearing face masks, social distancing, and washing their hands. Yesterday, the health department reported the 16th COVID-19 related death of a 52-year-old man. The county currently has 71 active cases, with 300 of the 387 total recovered. Well, almost $14 million has been approved for resurfacing I-86 from Steenburg to Salamanca as part of a major infrastructure initiative by New York State. In addition, about $1.8 million are slated for resurfacing a portion of Route 20 from the village of Westfield to the Pennsylvania-New York border. The state also approved money to resurface Route 243 from the Cattaraugus County line to the intersection with Brookside Drive in Allegheny County. Now, the projects are part of $357 million in funding to renew roads across the state, using some new state-of-the-art technology to reduce resurfacing costs and environmental impacts, according to state officials. Well, members of the Jamestown City Council have agreed to table action on a proposed parking change downtown so they can finalize the city budget and have more time to discuss the matter. Members of the Finance Committee want the issue tabled until the 2021 budget is complete. Councilwoman Kimberly Eklund messaged council members last night, while President Tony Dulce said the members want more time to discuss and research. Mayor Eddie Sundquist is proposing increasing in parking meter fees to $1 an hour in the city starting on January 1. His proposal also calls for increasing parking fines from $10 to $15, having the fines double if not paid within 20 days, and then double again after 30. Several council members expressed their concerns with the changes at a recent work session. Among concerns raised were having to put 4 quarters in a meter for 1 hour when there is an alleged coin shortage, increased parking costs driving consumers out of the city, and how adding an app-based system could confuse older residents. Well, we thank you for joining us here for WNY News Now as we close out another week. Let's check in with the comments and say hello to Marcia. Great to see you here. Thanks so much for joining us today. Great to see Alan. Good to see Dustin, Connie, Hector, Linda, Joseph, and Cindy as well. Hopefully everyone is having a great afternoon. We appreciate you so much joining us, and let us know what you're thinking about in the comments down below about all these local stories and more. Well, now let's get a check of our First Defense weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter is standing by with a look at a sunny Salamanca out there.
Happy Friday, Justin, and happy Friday to all of you. Can you believe the amount of sunshine we have out there and how warm it is out there already? It is just a fantastic day. 69 in Salamanca right now with a dew point of 58 and just lots of sunshine. And speaking of the sun, did you see the sunset last night? Woo! Man, it was fantastic. Sean Sweatman, who pilots the Storm Interceptor, took this beautiful shot of the sun going down over the lake. And of course, if you have any pictures or videos of the weather, Hunters WX on Twitter and the First Defense weather page on Facebook, and always use the hashtag MyLocalWX. That's how we see them in the weather office, and we will get them on the air. First Defense Doppler radar has had a nice workout over the past few days. Nice and quiet today, so no rain today. Lots of sunshine. Enjoy this because it's going to be near record highs today. So it's really going to be warm. We did manage 71 yesterday was the high. Look at where we should be at this time of the year, 57. We started the day at 56. The record high for the city of Jamestown today is 80. Don't think we'll get there, but some spots will be knocking on 80 degrees come this afternoon. So through the afternoon, I have nothing more to say. Just look at this. Lots of sunshine, record high 73 to 80 near the records for this date with a south wind increasing 9 to 18 miles per hour. We turn wet again tonight with a cold front. Then it turns chilly once again for the weekend and maybe the first snowflakes of the season early next week. I'll tell you about it in a few. Justin?
Oh, Dakota, no, don't. We don't want to know. Thank you, though. Well, 2 Kennedy area women are facing charges after Chautauqua County Sheriff's deputies say they were stopped with stolen clothing from a Strunk Road charity bin. 36-year-old Kimberly Ferguson and 47-year-old Susan Gurmer were stopped early yesterday morning for a traffic violation. Deputies say the two were found with a vehicle full of clothing that was allegedly stolen from a charity drop box. The duo also allegedly possessed drug paraphernalia. The two are slated to be in court at a later date. Well, Chautauqua County's public defender, Ned Barone, says there's no alternative to preparation when describing the various success that his office has experienced over the years. Barone recently took part in a one-on-one phone interview with WNY News Now's Matt Hummel. He says he's learned the importance of preparation after years of experience as a criminal defense lawyer. The attorney says that the lawyer needs to be prepared for their case regardless of how serious the allegation against their client may be.
Every case that you take, regardless of whether it's a murder case or a bad check charge, there's no substitute for preparing and preparation of that case from beginning to end. There's no shortcuts. You need to cross every T, dot every I.
Barone says that his office has one of the highest acquittal rates for public defenders in New York State outside of New York City's 5 boroughs. Well, coming up next, President Trump and Joe Biden go toe-to-toe during last night's final presidential debate. We're live from Nashville. Plus, why leaders continue to look at Pennsylvania's influence in combating COVID-19. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
I'm Jason Schmidt. I'm a former felony prosecutor and a criminal defense attorney here in Chautauqua County. I've worked both sides of the system for the past 15 years. I'm the only candidate endorsed by local law enforcement. Police here in Chautauqua County know what's going on. Each year here in Chautauqua County, the police make about 1,000 felony arrests. In 2019, only 17.4% of those arrests resulted in felony convictions. I know how to fix their problems, and that's why I'm running for district attorney.
As a former county executive, I know exactly the challenges and opportunities that we have here in Chautauqua County. That's why I'm very proud to support PJ Wendell for county executive. His knowledge, his experience, and his leadership are exactly what we need at this moment in time. I would ask you all to please support PJ Wendell for county executive.
Wendell has the experience, he's got the leadership, and he's got the knowledge and ability.
One of the most important characteristics of a successful county executive is being able to surround themselves with the right people for the right situation. And that is exactly what PJ Wendell has done. Having direct experience in county government is absolutely critical, and no one should start out as county executive with having no experience at all with county government. So PJ Wendell brings that experience both as a long-term legislator and a former chairman of the legislature. He has my 100% support.
For the past 9 years, I've been a prosecutor right here in Chautauqua County, fighting to keep this community safe. My family lives here with me in Fredonia, and I grew up in Sherman, New York. Fighting to make sure that these communities stay safe is so very important to me. We have the highest caseload of any county in this state, and as your district attorney, I'm dedicated to making sure that each case gets handled the right way for not only the victims, but for the people that live in this county. I'm fully invested in this community, and I'm fully invested in this community's future. Vote Patrick Swanson for Chautauqua County District Attorney.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
And welcome back to WNY News Now. New York's governor says an uptick in Western New York's COVID-19 positivity rate is partially due to Pennsylvania. Governor Andrew Cuomo gave an update on the state's progress in the fight against COVID yesterday. He says of the more than 135,000 tests reported, only 1.2% came back positive. The positive rate in Western New York's region was 1.5%, according to the governor.
Western New York now has the issue of the counties along the Pennsylvania border, where we're seeing upticks. It's less in the Buffalo area. It's more the counties on the Pennsylvania border.
Well, counties on the PA border include Chautauqua, Cattaraugus, and Allegheny. A member of the House of Representatives can find it rather difficult to balance their re-election campaign with their official duties as the people's advocate. Considering that fact, that a House member's term is only 2 years, which basically forces them to start their re-election bid before their term's halfway mark. With that, WNY News Now asked Congressman Tom Reed for his perspective on balancing things out, especially during a pandemic. He says his focus from day one has been to ensure that his constituents had what they needed during the crisis. He adds that he knows he needs to serve both demands.
You know, when you balance that versus the campaign obligations and things that are associated with that, you just have to go into it knowing that you have to serve both of those demands. But I have always told myself that we are always here to serve our official responsibilities, and those are the constituents of the 23rd Congressional District as the top priority. And that means focusing on the official side especially during this crisis.
Congressman Reed is being challenged by Democrat Tracy Matrano, who he defeated back in 2016 The incumbent is seeking his sixth term in Congress. Well, President Trump and Joe Biden took to the debate stage together for a final time last night. And even though they offered starkly different takes on the economy, foreign policy, and especially the coronavirus pandemic, it was a far less chaotic affair than we first saw. Karen Kafa is in Nashville, Tennessee with this live recap and looks forward to what's ahead. Karen.
Voters who tuned into last night's debate got a lot more policy and a lot less crosstalk than they did during that first debate in Cleveland a few weeks ago. But whether it was the game changer that in particular President Trump needed to change the trajectory of this campaign at this late stage, well, that's going to be up to voters. The second and final face-off before Election Day, very different than the first. Less chaotic and more coherent, President Trump and Joe Biden taking one more chance to contrast their records.
You were there just a short time ago, and you guys did nothing.
You know who I am. You know who he is. You know his character. You know my character.
And debate issues like foreign policy.
He's legitimized North Korea. He's talked about his good buddy who's a thug.
We have a different kind of a relationship. We have a very good relationship, and there's no war.
In the way forward from COVID-19.
There are some spikes and surges in other places. They will soon be gone. We have a vaccine that's coming.
Anyone who's responsible for that many deaths should not remain as President of the United States of America.
Sources say advisors urged President Trump to keep the interruptions to a minimum and perhaps zero in on the economy as part of a coherent closing case.
We have to open our country. We're not going to have a country. You can't do this. We can't keep this country closed.
Biden linking it all right back to Trump's response to the coronavirus.
It's his ineptitude that caused the country to have to shut down in large part. Why businesses have gone under, why schools are closed, why so many people have lost their living, and why they're concerned.
And the former vice president really making that issue the focus of an extended closing argument he's been making to voters. He's going to talk about that a little bit more in remarks in Wilmington, Delaware later today. As for President Trump, he went back to the White House last night after the debate, but he's going to hit the road a little bit later on today with two events scheduled in Florida. Florida, of course, one of those key battlegrounds that we're going to be talking a lot about over the next 11 days. Live in Nashville, Tennessee, I'm Karen Kafa. Now back to you.
Karen, thank you for your reporting. Early voting starts tomorrow here in New York State. For more on how and where to vote locally, visit votechautauqua.com. The Fenton History Center in Jamestown is holding a virtual Halloween event tonight where organizers aim to bring mystical stories to life. The center is hosting a virtual Monster Mash via Zoom at 7 o'clock where for $10 community members can take part in a historical haunted house where timeless stories of monsters, villains, and mischief will be brought to life. The event will feature costumed actors portraying well-known Gothic legendary characters including figures like Dracula, Frankenstein, Ichabod Crane, and the Three Witches. Now, this is a family-friendly event. It won't be gory or specifically scary. Rather, it will tell the history of the monster and the Gothic tales with a little bit of a twist, too. To register, visit FentonHistoryCenter.org. A link to the Zoom event will be emailed to participants prior to the show. Certainly, it sounds like a lot of fun and great to see that we're able to have still some of these events, even though we can't necessarily have a ton of people meeting in person. Let us know what you think about that and all these other stories below in the comments section. Got to say hello to Nancy, Kathy, Christine, John, Donna, and Mary. Happy Friday to all of you. We appreciate you so much for joining us here for WNY News Now. Let's now get a check of our full First Defense weather forecast. Everybody's looking towards the weekend, Dakota, and fingers crossed it hopefully will turn out much like today is.
Well, the weekend, at least the first part of it, it's going to be a little bit wet, especially in the morning tomorrow, but then Sunday will likely be better. Let's go in there and take a look at it. And hey, speaking of the rain, let's take a look at the rainfall that we've had since this week. And since Sunday, that's when the week starts, we've had 2.17 inches of rain gauged at the Jamestown airport, but we're still running below average for the season. Our departure for the season is still at 2.41 inches. And the majority of this is actually due from September, because September we didn't have a whole lot of rain. We only had 1.41 inches of rain, I think it is, throughout the entire month of September, when in September we should be close to 4 inches. So that's where a lot of this deficit came from. But you can bet your blank We needed this. Fill in the blank with the word of your choice. And now, as I told you yesterday, the drought monitor basically was updated, but in a surprising move, there's no change to the drought monitor. We still have this normally dry condition basically for the western areas. We're still under a moderate drought here, but there's still a severe level drought out here in portions of Cat County going down into northwestern Pennsylvania. I would have thought that they would have pulled this back a little bit, but they still maintain it, and obviously this will be updated again next Thursday, so we'll see what they do with it again next week. So the weather headlines here, yeah, I had to break out the emojis because I just couldn't think of anything to say. The sunshine, what in the world is that thing? Is that a bee? I don't know what that is.
I think that's the fly people were talking about earlier on the camera.
Okay, all right, because I didn't know what that thing was. But anyway, we got the sunshine emoji, hard eyes, 100% hot. That's basically going to be the story today. Rain returns to, it should say tonight, not today, tonight through Saturday, back to chilly air this weekend. And yeah, could we see the first snowflakes of the season next week? It's a possibility. 71 as a noon hour. We should not be this warm this time of the year. I'm telling you guys this. 71, southwest wind to 12. We got a wind gust to 17. It is feeling fantastic out there around the region. 72 in Mayville, 77 in Fredonia, cracking on 80 degrees both in Erie and in Dunkirk. 71 here in town, 72 in Randolph. Good afternoon to you. And Olean still stuck at 68 degrees as of this hour. But man, it is going to warm up nicely. But it's not going to last. We have a cold front out here with a band of showers back behind it. And yeah, you can see snow up here in the Midwest. This should likely miss us, but you know when it gets close, you know that the time is close. So here's Future Scan for you. Nothing through the day. It is going to be a fantastic afternoon. Now, as the front crosses tonight, you're going to see a line of showers and possibly a couple rumbles of thunder move through. That'll move through overnight. Best chance of rain tomorrow is going to be in the morning hours. The afternoon should be dry with mostly to partly cloudy skies. And then as we go into Sunday, it really turns nice, but it's still going to be chilly for this time of the year. We're talking highs in the 40s both weekend days. So 74 at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Lots of sunshine out there. Enjoy it. 72 at 6 by the time sunset time comes up. And by the time we go into the nighttime hours, this is when the front is going to start to cross. So that's when the rain will start with temperatures still in the 60s. How about the next 7 days of your life that are powered by 42 degrees and sunny? 45 tomorrow. Best chance of rain is going to be in the morning hours. And then as we go into Sunday, 48 degrees, a chilly sunshine, 65 or 50 on Monday. Rain will be likely. There's our first flakes. Tuesday, best chance for snow will be in the morning on Tuesday, but it's not guaranteed. Wednesday, mainly dry, 50. And then Thursday, just a small chance of an isolated shower around 51 degrees. Justin?
All right, Dakota, thank you very much. Coming up next, time for my favorite segment of the week. We go live to the Chautauqua County Humane Society for our Pet of the Week segment. That and more as WNY News Now continues. Stay with us.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
First Defense Weather is sponsored by 42 Degrees and Sunny, smokin' deals on smoking accessories. Learn more at 42degreesandsunny.com. That's 42degreesandsunny.com.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
I'm Jason Schmidt. I'm a former felony prosecutor and a criminal defense attorney here in Chautauqua County. Each year here in Chautauqua County, the police make about 1,000 felony arrests. In 2019, only 17.4% of those arrests resulted in felony convictions. It means that in less than 2 out of 10 serious crimes, the victims of those cases receive justice. 17.4% is not a number that's acceptable for me and my family. It certainly isn't good enough for yours.
Hi, I'm George Borrello, and I'm proud to serve as your senator for New York's 57th Senate District. In fact, in my first year, I've passed many pieces of legislation as well as helping people and businesses in these challenging times. From fighting for a safe, common-sense reopening of our state's economy during the COVID-19 pandemic to continuing the push for the repeal of the state's flawed criminal justice changes, which have made us all less safe, I am working hard for you every day as your state senator. Your vote will help me continue my mission to boost New York's economy struggling from the COVID shutdown and for small businesses not just to survive, but thrive. I will also continue to hold the government accountable by reviewing policies that led to the tragic nursing home deaths statewide. I'm proud to represent our beautifully diverse region, and I will be honored to have your vote on Tuesday, November 3rd, so that I can continue my work fighting for you. It's not about rhetoric, it's about results.
Paid for by Borrello for Senate.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back to WNY News Now. In an effort to help animals find their forever home, we're partnering with the Chautauqua County Humane Society in my favorite segment, the Pet of the Week. Joining us live is Brian Papalea, the Director of Community Relations for the Humane Society. Brian, good afternoon, TGIF.
Hey, TGIF to you too. And I was thinking with that talk of snow in the forecast, a cuddly warm kitten might be a good idea if you're thinking about adopting. Just saying. So we have, speaking of which, we have a little cash change today. Oh, we have Will. He's 3 months old, and we had talked about Batgirl. And just so you have an update on her, Batgirl is at PetSmart in Erie. Oh, he's an active little guy.
Wow.
He is here. Let's get a good shot of him here. But he's been, we've been hanging out for about 20 minutes now, and he's just a lover, and he's a kitten, so he's playing and he's, investigating. So it's really pretty cool. And all you have to do is put it,
Yeah, and he does look like a really awesome little guy there. I actually had a cat, Bella, who unfortunately passed away last year. Looks exactly like him. Absolutely beautiful cat. And I can tell you, if you're looking for someone to cuddle and to take photographs with, he looks just like one. He's your Instagram buddy, that's for sure. So we almost kind of this week to try to get Will and Batgirl adopted. Batgirl, you said, is heading to Erie. Is that something that the Humane Society does to try to get more exposure to those pets?
It is. It's done through PetSmart Charities, and we have in PetSmart here in Lakewood and PetSmart in Erie, those cats come from different shelters. Most of the ones at the Lakewood PetSmart are from here, and then in the Erie PetSmart, it's a number of shelters from the region. And we're lucky enough to be able to have some cats, including Batgirl. Now he's going to climb me. But they're there. And just a note regarding PetSmart adoptions, you don't have to fill out the online adoption application because that's all handled in store. So if you're there and you see somebody that you love and you fall into this situation, then you're good to go right there at the store.
Yeah, certainly. And if you're going to Erie this weekend, check that out for sure from many shelters. So back here at home, as for Will, the best way then to meet up with him, maybe if they like what they see, I know we've talked about this pretty much every Friday, head online, fill out the application.
Yep, chqhumane.org is the place to go. I'm going to try to get a better shot of him. And you can do that for any pet you might see on the website that you're interested in. And then what we'll do is we'll call you to schedule a meet, and the rest is hopefully happy history.
Yeah, certainly. And Will looks like an amazing little kitty. I actually am going to make a couple phone calls after this, so just so the viewers know, you might want to pick him up quick because I'm good. I have a couple people who I think would be very interested in meeting him at the least. So Brian and Will, thank you so much both for joining us today. And again, if you're not super tech savvy, you can call the Humane Society and they can get you a paper application. You can give them a call at 665-2209, or you can visit them at chqhumane.org. Well, that's going to do it for our broadcast today. Of course, we remind you news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. When you're on the go, stay in the know by downloading our mobile app. Just search WNY News Now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. We're back on Monday. Hope to see you then.